Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Push Square, and in today's video I'm going to do a little preview of Yooka-Laylee, which I've actually been playing for a little while now. Now I wasn't going to bother doing a preview because the review embargo actually lifts next week, but I had no video ideas for today really, and I've been playing it quite a lot over the weekend, so I thought, you know what, let's just do a really quick preview of Yooka-Laylee. Now there are a lot of limitations upon what I can actually show and talk about here, and I've actually progressed further in the game than they're actually letting me talk about, so hopefully I'm not going to break any embargoes here. I've definitely captured footage according to their guidelines and the kind of limitations that they've put on us, so hopefully everything's okay, but if this gets struck with a cease and desist or whatever, then you'll know why that I've just broke loads of embargoes. Anyway, Yooka-Laylee is kind of the Banjo-Kazooie revival platformer from Playtonic. It was a successful Kickstarter, as you all know. But is it any good? That's obviously the crucial question here, and I can't answer that because I'd be stepping into review territory. But I can say that it is exactly the kind of game that Playtonic promised. This is definitely a throwback platformer in every sense of the word. You kind of start out in a hub area, and you slowly progress into something called the Hivory Towers, and it's in the Hivory Towers that there are various tomes and books, and these represent the levels, so you kind of think of them as, I don't know, the paintings in Super Mario 64 for example, and each tome has a different kind of world in it. Well, what's cool is you're completing challenges to unlock pages, and pages are basically your stars, or I think they were musical notes or something in Banjo-Kazooie, can't quite remember, but something like that. But with each challenge you complete, you unlock pages, and when you've got enough pages you can actually expand each world. So what starts out as quite a nice large sandbox area with lots of things to do actually gets even bigger once you've unlocked enough pages, and this is consistent throughout all the worlds. I can obviously only show you little bits and pieces, I can't show you them all yet, but you get the idea. Now within the worlds, within these levels, these large levels, there are tons of, like I say, little challenges, and these range from sort of completing races to collecting certain items to, you know, fending off hordes of enemies, all sorts of different stuff, and it does get quite imaginative. And one thing I like about it is within each new world you can purchase new abilities for Yooka and Laylee, who are the protagonists. And these abilities gradually enable you to do more things in previous worlds that you've already visited to. So does that make sense? So once you hit the ice level, you get new abilities and new things that you can do in the ice level. But that also applies to the jungle level, because suddenly there are things that you remember. Oh, I remember that little area or that little thing that I couldn't quite figure out what to do, and now I've got the ability to complete it. So there's a bit of backtracking in that regard, but it's quite fun. You know, once you've unlocked a new level, you go and do everything you can do in it, or you feel that you can do in it, and then, you know, you come back to it like 5 or 6 hours of gameplay later and there's a ton more stuff you can do, so it constantly encourages you to get more out of each of the levels in the game. It looks okay, I think. I wouldn't say... I mean, this has been made on a Kickstarter budget. It's never going to be a graphical tour de force on the PS4, and it does run a little sloppily on the PS4 Pro, even with boost mode enabled. It doesn't seem to be patched to support PS4 Pro natively, which is a shame, because a game like this really should be running in 4K for me. But yeah, it looks okay. There's a nice art style to things. It's very retro in the way characters will talk. They kind of speak in gibberish, which was a big Banjo-Kazooie thing back in the day. That's back here, and that kind of grates, but I guess they had to do that if they were playing the nostalgia card, right? And what else to say, really? I think it controls okay. The camera is a little annoying in the sense that it's very... Well, I mean, again, they're going for the N64 kind of thing, aren't they? The 90s 3D platformer thing, and the camera often tries to have a mind of its own, and it wants to be in a specific place, and you kind of find yourself wrestling with it a bit, which is honestly something that I haven't experienced in games since those Nintendo 64 platformers back in the day. So that's frustrating me. I guess Playtonic would argue it's meant to be like that because that's how cameras were in those days, but I'm not sure that's a reasonable excuse, really. There are boss fights. The boss fights that I've seen so far, and I guess I can only talk about one, right, really. The one boss fight that I've seen thus far, which may or may not apply to the other boss fights in the game, isn't great. It's very pattern based, but it does use, like, each boss fight seems to use the moves that you've unlocked thus far into its kind of pattern-based gameplay, which is, is quite creative and imaginative, I guess. And yeah, within the Hivory Towers, which is the hub world itself, there's lots of little secrets to uncover there, which is something I really like. Like, there are pages within the Hivory Towers hub world, so as you're moving from level to level, you're also finding and discovering different things to collect and new things to do, which is really quite cool in a lot of ways, I think. I like that idea of the... rather than having a level select menu, they've created this whole little play box to host the levels within it. I really like that, and that was another defining feature. Obviously, Super Mario 64 had the castle, and I'm pretty sure Banjo-Kazooie did it as well. Jak and Daxter did a similar thing where it was kind of a seamless open world, but the levels would sprout off that kind of world. I really like that feature, and that's definitely present in Yooka-Laylee. There's some quite long loading times and stuff like that, like technical performance stuff. Again, we're stepping into review territory, so I should back off, but some of the technical performance stuff could be better, I think, but maybe they'll get a patch out in time for release day. I'm playing this game very early. They were very diligent in getting review code out, and I think they finished the game quite early in order to sort out all the Kickstarter stuff and everything involved with the Kickstarter, which must be quite complicated, making sure everyone gets the codes they need. So they've run this Kickstarter really well, actually. The game is exactly what they've promised it will be, and they've delivered on that. They've done it on a good timeline, so I think they definitely deserve credit from that perspective, because there are a lot of Kickstarters that have gone awry of late, aren't there? And this definitely isn't one of those, I don't think. As for the game, whether it's worth buying or not, you're going to have to check back next week when I will have a full review where I can actually share some more specific opinions, because I have been kind of tiptoeing around the embargo with this sort of preview video here, and obviously I can't show you all of the game or anywhere near to all of the game. But yeah, hopefully Team 17 is cool with this video. I'm really worried about breaking embargoes here. Hopefully I've given you a little taste of what you can expect, and then you can look forward to the review next week. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, Yooka-Laylee, let me know whether you're going to buy it in the comment section. Thanks for watching.